she found a job, so she not need to depend on nobody. So she put all her trust in Jesus. Not like them young girl who run down speakers. Take her time and do things right in the word of God. So she found a delight. She not an average girl, so she uncomfortable when the closing time. No, she works and I watch she slide. When trouble come, she not go fight. Find a girl where they hard to find. When the devil a come, can get in her she mind. Sometimes it's hard to believe. This girl so hard to deceive. This girl not normal. Her mind is way stronger than Eve. Christian girl, you got value. Christian girl, you got value. Christian girl, you got value. The Bible talk about you, lady of virtue. So with a girl like this, you can't get no kicks. Girl know her worth. Girl a shop like that, like evangelist. Girl know her worth. So no bother with the tricks and all the lyrics. Get your information, get your information, get your information right. Oh, I did it, boy. I dedicate this one to my sisters, them Christian sisters, them. All the Christian girls, them. This one for you. All the Christian girls, them. This one for you.
Kelly on the beat, boy.
Oh, I did it, boy. They say good girls are so hard to find. But me never had all them problem when God bless me with mine. I found a girl who know how to wash and cook, maintain her beautiful look. None of fast food or doubles. Girl, I look good without bundles. Though she deal with Sasha and Mac, Jesus is a foundation. This girl not normal. She's not giving up her salvation. She's 100% believer. Jesus is the best concealer. Christian girl, you got value. Christian girl, you got value. Christian girl, you got value. The Bible talk about you, lady of virtue. The word of God, so she found a job, so she not need to depend on nobody. So she put all her trust in Jesus. Not like them young girl who run down speakers. Listen what me tell you. We need more love in the ghetto. Sing some positive tune and send them ghetto youths. Living in a conman town. We don't need no God. Talk to them, boy. Pam, brother. Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. Hey, this is Jaranus, your brother, your cousin, your friend, your nephew, whoever you feel to call me, your son, whoever you feel to call me. Right, the original Jesus Shooter is all about this Wednesday, 8 p.m. Right, the 30th of September. We're going on live on Facebook. You're looking for Neil Iwer George Facebook, Iwer TV on YouTube, Iwer George Instagram. And it's all about lifting up the name of Jesus. Look in. Now go on, tune in, click, subscribe. Oh gosh, just the way I have to do it.
Streaming live on Instagram at Iwer George, Facebook Neil Iwer George, and YouTube Iwer TV. It's Iwer Stage.
Everybody just trust me, I'm gonna make it one day. Come and live this life and it practical. To survive the street, man, I fit tactical. Say the right.
Yo, you don't know it's Lady Lava, Queen of the Freaks, and I will be live on Iwer Stage 1-on-1 from 8 p.m. So people, that's the 4th of October, right? And it's streaming live on Iwer George YouTube, Iwer George Instagram, Iwer George Facebook. It will also be streaming live from my page, right? So be sure to catch me, and I don't know. If you beat it, keep it a secret. Lady Lava, Queen of the Freaks. Boom!
Streaming live on Instagram at Iwer George, Facebook Neil Iwer George, and YouTube Iwer TV. It's Iwer Stage.
It was really sad that this young lady would have lost her life because of being in a domestic situation and turned really, really bad. And it's not the first time in Trinidad and Tobago we are mourning the death of our young women who are losing their lives senselessly to men who, as one young man would have sent a message in the program and said that some men can't take talk. I think it's bigger than talk. I think it's more about self-esteem. I think it's more about self-respect. I think it's more about, you know, it's bigger than just talk. It's bigger than just talk. So we want to continue the discussion here. I think it's a healthy discussion. We'll change the topic about 1 o'clock. Well, 1 o'clock, we're going to do our appraisal of Gary Griffith. All right? So we're not talking Gary now. We're talking Gary at 1. But we want to talk about how can we help. So this is the discussion that I want to have with you. I want to go into it with you. How can you, if you were faced with a situation of a young man coming to you and saying to you, here now, I need some help, you know, because I find myself being very abusive to my girlfriend or my wife. There are different types of abuse. We hear of the physical abuse, we hear of the verbal abuse, and we also hear about the psychological abuse. And there are different stages of abuse. All right? There are different stages of abuse. So it may start off with a little joke lash. It may start off with a little joke dotish. You dotish girl. Yeah, you foolish girl. You stupid girl. It might start off like that. It might start off with statements like, use the problem girl. And things like those statements are some of the statements that are made to women. And some women say, I know he love me. And some women will put you in your place and say, who you calling stupid? Who you calling dotish? You're fast. And you might get a little push, and you might say, but it's push me there. And he may not respond. So there are different levels to this thing. There's the silent treatment too. And sometimes the silent treatment does go to the extreme. You talk to you for months. You talk to you for weeks. I don't know how some of you would respond to those things. But those are some of the treatment that some women will get. Some men will get it too, and there is the outcry from the Single Fathers, I think it is, association. I'm not saying single men. Single Fathers Association saying is that single fathers are going through the same. Some of them go through abuse too. So it's something that that we want to talk about. I want to hear your views on. I want to hear your take on it. I want to hear how you feel about it, and if you are to give solutions to it. All right, some people say that people who call talk show and radio and who indulge in conversation like these or any sort of conversation can't think for yourself. You are sheep, and you don't know. You can't give any advice. But I want to show today, and I want you to get involved in a discussion that you are one who can. You're a critical thinker, and you can give advice where advice is needed. So my question again, if you're now joining me and you want to know what am I talking about, I'm talking about a young man. We're talking about abuse, and we're talking about abuse and different stages of abuse. But what would you say to a young man who comes up to you or a young man who is abusive to his girlfriend? And I heard some young people talking, and some young people said that if you know that your partner is abusive to his girlfriend and you don't do anything about it, you're encouraging it. If you are a young man who is involved in somebody who's involved in a relationship And you hear him say, "My chia slap yes," and you don't say anything, you are encouraging it. And so my question today is, how do we deal with this as a society? Because it's getting worse, it's getting overbearing. We talk about it whenever it happens, but what are the solutions to help fix this thing? 342-0081 771 1791 466-5391. Send me a voice message. Let me know what are your thoughts. I am here with you until 2 o'clock. All right. So what's up with? Okay. Good day, all. All right. So there are people who are joining me on Facebook. You can do the same. You can join me on Facebook, and you can let me know what are your thoughts. All right. So we're going straight back to the phone lines. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Pastor.
Good afternoon, sir.
It's nice to hear you, and I'm glad that you're recovering and everything is well.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, I've recovered. Not recovering. I've recovered.
Well, okay, well, I'm glad to hear that still, though.
Thank you very much.
Pastor, I heard you, and I would like to know, well, what is your take with young men are being abused by certain characters or by certain men?
No, well, we're not talking. No. Wait. We're talking specifically about the relationships between a male and a female, and a young man comes to you and says to you, "Hear what now? I'm abusive to my girlfriend. I find myself hitting her. I find myself saying things to her that is hurting her feelings and demoralizing her whole self-esteem." What advice would you give to him?
All right. Now, you didn't give me a chance to finish what I was saying.
Yeah, because that topic you want to go into.
Because you see, somebody came to me.
Yeah, but I want to stay. I want to stay on this topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What do I say to them? They need to get help.
But they come to you for the help.
Yeah, well, okay. What I will recommend to them, that they need to get counseling. They have to get the counseling, because it's not much that one person could tell a person in order to believe. But you have to get the assistance from people who know the know-how. And this has helped a lot. Now, we are going through some difficult times that where people are only benefiting now from their household for the last 4 months, which it was not in. So now the pressure has gone back on a man who is living with a woman because he was not functioning in that house. And the disrespect is being taken place with one another. It's sometimes it don't be only the man alone. Sometimes it could be the woman. Very, very disrespectful to the man, or the man very being disrespectful. My thing about it is that I believe the two persons have to speak to somebody like you, who will know the know-how for a stranger advising somebody who cannot advise themselves. I don't believe that is any benefit of the couple. The couple needs to have a discussion with somebody who knows how to do this thing, because it's not everybody can give you the advice, Pastor. It's not everybody can give you that know-how, that feeling, that vibe, right? We could talk until the cows come home, because you see what happened yesterday? The lady was getting the advice, but what happened? Her neck nearly came off. Where did they went? The guys end up smoking a cigarette. You can imagine that? It's alleged that afterwards everything, they come to see what had happened after the car crash, and the guy was smoking a cigarette. You mean to tell me all this time this thing going on, that fella wasn't getting the advice, Pastor? He wasn't getting advice to tell him to leave that lady alone when his family said they didn't want him back into the premises? No. We need to have proper counseling, and people like yourself and other organization group needs to have this opening where that they will lecture or they will speak to fellas who cannot keep their hands up because they cannot do it. They must not do it. It is wrong. So that is why I did start off by where I was going, but I know that is a different topic. I didn't want to go there. I appreciate that, Pastor. And thanks again.
Thanks very much, caller. Thanks very much. We'll talk about that another time.
All right.
We'll talk about that another time. Thanks again.
Okay, Pastor. You welcome.
Yeah, man. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. How are you going?
I'm blessed, man.
All right. Pastor Google, here what? We need a lot of changes and fixes because you see this, even the paper white is that is give you a restraining order. Nobody has never used that successfully to stop anybody from killing them if it is the person come to kill them. So I find that
I don't know that for a fact, because I know that there are some cases where there are the people got restraining orders and they ignored it. But I can't say for a fact that it has never helped in saving somebody's life from
no, you understand what? If you listen to the whole sentence, what I said, it has never stopped anybody from killing anybody if the person really wanted to kill the person. So apart from the letter on that document, what they need to do is address the individual to whom the letter is sent to by giving them counseling, psychological treatment to ensure, because listen, the most famous one is the individual who, I don't know how old you are, but there was an incident where the lady had a restraining order. The police went with her to get her clothes in Valsin. And the husband locked her up in the house and chopped her up with the police present.
Yeah, but
he couldn't get inside the house.
I also know about an incident where a couple went for counseling by a pastor. And when I think the wife went to the toilet and the husband said he wanted to go to the toilet too and he killed her.
Listen, as I said, they need to have some sort of additional treatment because, you see, there is a certain amount of hate. And I don't want to go too much scriptural, but as I always say, according to how scripture goes, God is only asked you to do what you cannot do for yourself. We agree with that? He went into the temple and he told the man with the withered hand, stretch forth your withered hand. The man could not do that. That's the only thing he couldn't do, and that's exactly what God asked him to do. He told Peter, come and walk on the water with me. Man can't walk on water. So God accustomed asking people to do what they can't do for themselves. He said, man, love your wife. What is the opposite? If it is God telling you to love your wife, what is the opposite of love? Hate, right? So that means in the natural form, man will hate the wife. He said, woman, obey your own husband. So in the natural form, women don't obey their husband. So only when Christ comes inside the picture that those two things can actually take place. Because God is only asked you to do what you can't do for yourself. Do you agree? Pastor Google,
I'm listening to you.
All right. So here is what it is happening. Apart from physical, we also need a spiritual and psychological dealings with individuals with these things because it's running very deep and the devil is loose and it's very prominent at this time because you know it's time short. So you find all these things that was done inside is coming out now. And as I said, the hate is there because remember when we had Adam getting Eve, he said, oh God, one of my bones, flesh of my flesh. When it had problem, what he said? That woman, all of a sudden now the love gone. That woman, hate one time. So there's an enmity that can be resurrected. The devil could use that to resurrect that enmity and hate. So there's all these things needs to be addressed, but I know it's a hard task for me to get it in the physical with legalization. But when you do a legal paper, you must have some kind of counseling to go with it. Because there's also the factor that the man is also getting stressed. Because when you have, everybody, as I mentioned earlier today, everybody is speaking about this incident where the man took off the lady head. But it made the incident in Mayaro take a back seat. This fact, the man came home and catch his wife with another man in bed and he hung himself. When you have people doing these sort of things, like the lady who it is went and put a video that she was having sex with her husband's nephew. Men don't do them kind of embarrassment thing, Men don't load up their wife like that, to embarrass them like that. But these are the sort of things, and it is create a hatred. Pastor Google, these things have to be dealt with in a holistic manner and a very serious manner, because we have to be aware of all the things that are happening for us to get it fixed. We can't just look and say, well, this, and the way they brought up, because it has some people brought up in abusive homes, but they never come out like that.
All right. Thank you very much. I have another call on the line. Hello, good morning. Good afternoon, sorry.
Morning, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon.
Pastor Google, you know what I find? In this time, I find, with a woman, some women abuse this too, but I find men is taking too much advantage of women in this job. Too much. They want to do all the wickedness, and then eventually, when they're fed up with it, and they decide to go your separate ways, and next thing they want to take off your head, they want to take off your hand, they want to take off your foot. It's unfair. Why people is doing this wickedness so? Look at what this man do to this lady yesterday. Oh my God. Pastor Google, I tell you, God really had to make some kind of situation. Yes? I find women is being taken advantage on too much, especially in this Trinidad. Yeah, they're well overdoing it. I'm fed up by it. I'm really, really fed up. Oh my God. Hey.
All right, thank you very much. Someone is making a statement on Facebook, and I'm wondering if this statement might have some merit to it. So, caller, hold the line. I just want to read a statement here that someone put on Facebook that I'm wondering if it does have some merit. The person says, too many untreated mental issues. If you notice these unusual behaviors, if you realize these unusual behaviors, get spiritual help. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, I go to tell you, Mr. Google.
Yes, sir.
When you come, you're welcome.
Thank
Glad
you.
to hear your voice again, man.
Thank you very much.
Once you have work to do for your Almighty Father, He will protect you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the first thing in a relationship, my friend, you see, honesty. When people get married, they were saying, better come together in sickness and health and poverty, and well, they will say, I do. Would you be honest to her, to each other, truthful, obedient, contented? These are the things, these are the words you have to put to them when they get married. You see, honesty play a great part in a relationship. Honesty, be honest to your partner, be honest to yourself. Look, why do it? Why are you thinking? Be honest to yourself. You see, honesty, my friend, in a relationship is very, very important. You understand? You get to know yourself because you're honest. You understand? That's all I have to say.
All right.
One word, honesty.
Thank you very much. Right, so you can join me on Facebook. Just type in the Street 919 FM. Street 919 FM. We're talking about domestic violence. We're talking about finding some solution to it. Somewhat. We're also talking about giving advice on how you can help somebody who may just have found themselves being abusive, or someone who is somebody who's abusive and somebody who's being abused. What advice would you give to them? How would you encourage them to get out of a situation like that? All right, I'm getting some voice notes, but I want to take. Oh, okay, caller, you're not there. I wanted to take a call, but I think I'll take some voice notes. First time I'm seeing this voice note. Let me take this voice note.
Pastor Google, good afternoon. How he know men don't do those things? Men does those things, but I would say the restraining order is not helping. Find some kind of boot camp. You see how they have sentence and they have the jail. Have a special space for that. When you see that they abuse women, get them back the abuse. Let them feel it. So Google, another thing I would say, when you see some of those men and them doing that, they've been abused too when they were small. So they're lashing out at it too.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Welcome back, and I'm glad to hear you're well again.
Thank you.
I just would like to tell a caller a couple of calls ago, I don't think men have any right beating a woman or killing a woman, and he's talking about someone in bed, his wife's in bed with it. In any case, a woman is a separate being. She is in charge of her own body, even though in marriage. So there's no excuse for that. I also think that a lot of people today, that is right, have mental issues. It's not only a spiritual one, it's also a medicinal one. They might be schizo and bipolar mix. And carrying those things. Even in the police service, I don't know if they get proper counseling, because a lot of people are going through stress lately, and then there are those who are generic, who have mental illness, and they're not curing it, or they are taking illegal stuff with it, alcohol and illegal stuff with whatever, and those called psychotic. Anybody taking somebody like, there's no excuse in that, brother. The man coming on to say about she's sleeping, find his wife sleeping. That is no excuse. There are ways to be strengthened, and a lot of men are not making themselves. It is putting a bad thing on all men. It is the women are now making a generalized statement. It's true there are women who are provocative, and the Bible talk about the provocative. But in essence, a man shouldn't retaliate. He didn't give life. He shouldn't take life. Anyway, that is just my opinion, and I think it is also medicinal and mental issues we are facing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So this caller also thinks that there are people who are bipolar. There are people who are mentally ill, and they need some help. And let me tell you something, and we were talking just now, and in my introduction, I said to you that there are some men, or the abuse starts off, some people, the abuser starts off very simple, Simple. You're stupid, you're dotish, you're foolish, you can't do nothing good, girl. You just waste my time, boy. And those verbal abuse, verbal statements that are somewhat degrading and make you feel less than, it starts off very simple. Very, very simple. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Yes, to you and your wife. Pastor, this thing very complex,
Tell me.
Yeah, part of it starts from childhood, how they were groomed.
But there's some people, I remember counseling a young man, and he never grew up seeing that.
Yes, I know. But
never grew up seeing his father lifting. If his father and his mother have an argument, they would take it to the bedroom, and they would trash it out. They wouldn't even lift their voice loud enough for their children to hear. So then he never grew up seeing nor hearing that.
Yeah, but he might have been bullied in school. This is why I say it's complex.
But if you're bullied,
and far-reaching.
If you're bullied in school, that is enough for you to be abusive to a woman?
No, but then you see, the human being is made up of the physical, the spiritual and the mental. And in order to function at its best, there must be some element of combination. Only God is 100%, but we will try to reach as far as possible.
Yes.
This is why they say a closer walk with God. No human being is perfect, but Jesus says strive for perfection. You understand? And there's too much cruelty in the world today. There are people who watch you and tell you do what you want. So you can watch a big person and say do what you want. That's provocation. So we have to understand and treat each other the way we would like others to treat us. If we do that, the whole world would be a peaceful place. But it's a ranking scene, whether it's in the workplace, the neighborhood, don't care where somebody want to pull rank on somebody. And God is the only one with the rank, because he in charge of everybody and everything.
Yes.
And the sooner we humble, you see, we have to humble, but some people feel humility is servitude. No, that further apart than North Pole is from the South. So we have to sit down and, long time they used to have debating on things. People should get back and debate on things like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, Pastor Google.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
It's nice to hear your voice.
Thank you.
To hear you back. We feel good to. We are very concerned about your health, and we are happy to see God pull you through. Right? And you is a living testament to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because you're a man believe in God, and God keep you here to spread his name, bro. You understand? And we are happy to hear your voice. Okay, Pastor Google?
Thank you very much.
You take care.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google. Pastor Google, I think some of these things, these abuse truants see growing up at home, and they figure that's the way to go. Because I remember an incident with my son. He came home a day and told me that he and his madam get away really bad. And I told him, I said, I hope you didn't hit her. He said, no, I never see daddy hit you. So I said I hit her, And so that's what I'm saying. Some kids to see these things happening at home and they figure that's the way it's supposed to be. This is my contribution. And Pastor Gugu, I'm so happy that you are well and welcome back.
Thank you very much. Let me take another voice note before I go back to the phone lines.
Pastor Google, me again. Pastor Google, sometimes when you see people in this type of situation, female especially. I had a friend, she married young because they use Christianity in front of it, and she married at a young age. And Google, her husband used to beat her day and night, in and out. And Pastor Google, I used to talk to she. Imagine I was 15 years old. Right? So this is what I'm telling you, this is way in the 80s I'm telling you about. And Pastor Google, I used to talk to she. It get they are coming from school and I hear in the bawling. Pastor Google, he chuck she between a fridge and if you see licks. And she mother was living with she. But she mother was an ageable woman, she couldn't fight up with it. But Pastor Google, I had some strength. God was on my side. On that time, the God was on my side. And I had to pull the man off a sheep. They had some frying pan, some heavy frying pan. Pastor Google, but my hand get on some and I had was to fend him off. And she brother managed to come in and eventually, when they hear my voice and she hear my voice and she heard me crying, I said, girl, that is not a relationship to be in. Get out of it. Pastor Google is then eventually, she went to the police, make a report. They put a restraining order on him. He ended up breaking it. They end up back in court. You know how that woman get away from him? he end up doing something else and he end up in jail. I don't know if he end up dying in jail or anything like that. But that is how she end up getting away from it. Sometimes you just talk to them, Pastor Google, but that just make love cloud the eyes. And what are we to do when we talk to them and then they go back and do something else? At age 15, and remember, Pastor Google, I told you my mother was being abused by my stepfather, so I know what it was like to be in that position. But Pastor, sometimes God don't help you. And what I could tell some lady, I think they might have to fight back, stand up to the person, try and get out of it as early as possible. Believe in God, but sometimes you just believe in God, Pastor Google, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help. So I'm still locked on and listening, enjoying the topic.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Google.
Good afternoon.
Pastor Google, when we were young and growing up, no longer people have 11 and 12 children, and they live in one bedroom, one kitchen. Pastor Google, I never see my mother and father. We never see our mother and father quarrel. We never hear them fighting, not all. Pastor Google, I grew up. When I was 12 years, I got a boyfriend. And I still had a boyfriend as a husband for 56 years. Yes, ma'am.
56 years, you and your husband are married.
Still together.
56
married.
years.
2 children, 6 grandchildren.
What?
And we living like we know that again.
What is
so what is happening? What is this now happening now?
What is the synergy between the both of you? What has kept you two together for so long?
Just understanding. The other company you just have to understand. He don't like this, don't do that. You don't like that, he won't do that. You understand, Pastor Kuku? I don't know what she will iron. She's cool. When we get up, what you want for breakfast? You understand? This is what we have to do, not what you put there, he eat or you eat. No, that is not the way. Pastor Google, and we still going good.
And you still
like
going
we still, I tell you since I was 12 years, and I won't tell them age, and we still going good. About 1948.
All right, thank
you.
So
check that. Check that, Pastor Cruz.
Thank you.
Calling you from Santa Cruz.
Thank you very, very much for your testimony.
All right.
All right. Let me take a next voice note. All right. All right. Let me see. What's this? Please let call say the number. I heard a friend killed like that. I had a friend killed like that. All right. So the numbers again are 342-0081. 342-0081, 771-1791, 771-1791, 466-5391. So we're talking about domestic violence. We're talking domestic violence until 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, we're going to do an appraisal on Gary Griffith. All right? We're going to do an appraisal on Gary, Commissioner Gary Griffith, and I want to hear your take on it. So, domestic violence in Trinidad and Tobago. So we're talking about domestic violence, and I'm doing this first introduction with you. I'm going to have somebody in studio who is very passionate about these kind of things, and they're going to share with you some statistics, and they're going to share with you some solutions. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon again, Pastor.
Hi, good afternoon.
We're looking at molding the young minds of the gentlemen, young boys, but also young ladies. I have always liked the idea of ballroom dancing into the secondary school level.
I don't hear you too clearly. Say that again?
I've always liked the idea of ballroom dancing.
Ballroom dancing, okay.
Yes. See, where young men know how to speak to ladies, how to engage them, how to touch them, how to dress.
Yes.
Even ladies will know how to take a compliment. You can't just walk up to a lady and say, give me a dance now. You know?
Right. Yeah.
It's a whole social effect and the communication and how to deal with one another, male and female.
Yes.
And I think it is a plus.
Yes. Yeah. I hear you, and I think that's a good suggestion. The caller is suggesting that they introduce ballroom dancing in school. It teaches young men how to treat a lady and how to. But have men who will do all of that. Have men who just carry women and treat them real nice. It have some horror stories you will hear where when the man was trying to get through, the man did everything right. Candle dinner night with candlelight dinner. Man pick flowers, buy $200, $500 in flowers and use the petals and show them on the bed and did everything right. Everything to win her heart. And when he get through, that is when you see the monster. That is when you talk about schizophrenic. Yeah, it has some men real schizo. They will laugh, make you feel like a queen until they have you in the bag. When they have you in the bag, that is it there. And that's why some people some young ladies just do their own private investigations. Some ladies just do their own private investigation and they find out about the man. They check him out. But you see this situation with this lady? When I heard her mother said that when they get married, they wasn't living together, and before they get married, he was abusive, then why you get married to this man? All right, good afternoon, Google. Welcome back from the... Hey, Aruka. Hi, good afternoon. Thank you very much. So taking your calls, 342-0081, 771-1791, 466-5391. Remember, at 1 o'clock, we have our sports news, I believe, with Mr. Jason Shields, and we continue our discussion. So when we come back from our 1 o'clock news, we're going to be talking about Gary Griffith, and we're going to do a nice little appraisal and see what is your thoughts. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, I'm going to tell a story. You see, this what happened there with that lady. I had a friend. She got killed. Her hand and head up to...
All right, caller. You're calling me on WhatsApp, and when you call me on WhatsApp, and another call is coming through, or the connection is terrible, it will cut off. So what you may have to do is to call me back direct. All right, so caller, you have to call me back direct because your call is dropping from on WhatsApp. All right, so call me back direct because, when you call on WhatsApp, you have some issues. Okay, so we're going to take your calls. We see getting ready for sports news. So, Trinidad and Tobago, don't touch your dial. We're coming back with an appraisal on Gary.
Listen what me tell you, we need more love in the ghetto. Sing some positive tune and send them ghetto youths. Living in a conman town. We don't need no God. Talk to them, boy. Pam. Brother, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. Hey, this is Jaranus, your brother, your cousin.
Gary, and we want to hear your views on it. I want to hear your take on it. I want to hear your views on it. I want to hear what you think. And we're going to do it respectful. You want a bacchanal thing. Do it respectful. Because Gary ain't going nowhere yet, eh? He's still in the country. And I know he just listen from time to time. He's listen to the show. Hey, let me just say this before we go to the sports news. I see somebody wrote up on a post. They're asking the commissioner a question. So they was asking for a friend. Gary say, you need to change your friends. Somebody again on Facebook tell him, they say, I read in your comment, I not understand when you say it. Gravity, like you see, that's what I'm talking about. You went to school in August. So yeah, so he have his field day on social media where he just say how he feel and what he feel. So let me play this voice tone before we go for our sports news. All right, so let me hear what this person have to say.
Hi, Pastor Google. Good morning. Good morning. I grew up next to a neighbor whose husband used to beat her every day. I was a little child, and I'm a big woman now, and I never forget the bawlings I heard until one day she heard boop, 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 boop up our back step, through our back door, and straight under my mother's bed. She said she could not take licks anymore. So since I am small, I know about abuse. And I only knew men beating women. I never know a woman retaliating. So things have really changed, and it is terrible. So I just want to say, sometimes people, they see what's going on and they're still getting dead. I know about abuse. Okay, bye.
All right, thank you very much. That was a voice note of someone who grew up seeing someone being abused. We're going for a break. Come back.
Talk your talk, but we know talk. Come talk with us.
Everybody just trust me, I'm gonna make it one day. Come and live this life and it practical. To survive this shit, man, I fit tactical. Say the right.
Yo, you don't know it's Lady Lava, Queen of the Freaks, and I will be live on Iwer Stage 1-on-1 from 8 p.m. So people, that's the 4th of October, right? And it's streaming live on Iwer George YouTube, Iwer George Instagram, Iwer George Facebook. It will also be streaming live from my page, right? So be sure to catch me, and I don't know. If you beat it, keep it a secret. Lady Lava, Queen of the Freaks. Boom!
Streaming live on Instagram at Iwer George, Facebook Neil Iwer George, and YouTube Iwer TV. It's Iwer Stage.
Never in office are going to file me an injunction on public service. But every time a heavy rain fall by me.
Bacchanal in the parang bacchanal. Now a man with a pan with some sand in his hand was driving a panel van. When Tina stand park up the van, them walking a parang van. So a man from the stand see the man from the van with the pan and sand in his hand. Take away the sand from the man with the pan and throw it on a parang man on the shovel. This is Trinidad Radio. Catch me live on 1-on-1 Iwer Stage, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram on Friday the 2nd of October from 7 p.m. Trinidad Radio.
Streaming live on Instagram at Iwer George, Facebook Neil Iwer George, and YouTube Iwer TV. It's Iwer Stage.
In Trinidad and Tobago.